Alright, welcome back to another video, guys. Sorry for the short break. I didn't post for 2 days there. I do want to try to post every day, but I wasn't feeling mentally well. There's just a lot of things in my life that are really stressful. A lot of IRL decisions I have to make. So, we are back. I am trying to post daily, but no promises. I did keep it up for like 2 weeks there. So, anyways, this is our semifinals going against OMO Abyssinian, and this was the most we have a term we like to use, which is Mickey Mouse, which just means it was like a very sus like match we should not have won. Basically, like, it was a match that was very close, and even though we 2-0'd, it was extremely close, and I would argue OMO actually looked like the better team in a large part of these games. So yeah, let's hop into it. So our first idea was to ban Umbreon, because we knew they were gonna ban Slowbro. So we first picked the Lapras. We did this because we knew we would get Lapras, Inteleon, and Urshifu. However, one thing that so kind of in the grand finals, if you watch Worlds, we faced OMO again, and we drafted in a way where their team, it might have looked weird to outside perspectives, but we drafted in a way that their team were put on non-comfort picks. So this draft, while it might have been very good, because I mean, look at our comp, it looks like Thanos, right? However, we gave OMO all of their comfort picks. They hard spam Leafeon. Junior Absent is the best Hoopa in the game, even better than Elo. Tempest, very comfortable on Tree, one of his best Pokemon. Shua, Zoro is one of his best Pokemon, and Mila, Blastoise, is one of his best Pokemon. So although objectively our draft might be better, in my opinion it is still objectively better. We put them on all their comfort picks, and these guys, their biggest weakness is actually that their Pokemon pools are so small. So in this draft, we gave them, every single one of them are comfortable on this Pokemon. And that is a mistake we did not make again in Grand Finals. In Grand Finals, we still drafted in a way that we were comfortable, but we forced them onto a lot of picks that they do not play, and that aren't good for them. So this comp that they're playing, they love this comp. They played it a lot. Just all of these Pokemon, they played a lot. So that is one of the mistakes with their draft. Objectively, I'd say we won draft, but these guys, when they're on their comfort Pokemon, that is where they shine. That's how they beat all the other teams, right? And we were lucky to beat them in these semifinals, but we definitely learned from that mistake. And in grand finals, we did not make the same mistake. We hard fucked them in draft. This one, like, I'd say we won draft, but did we win draft very hard when they're all on their comfort picks? I would argue no. I would argue that this draft is actually what they're happy with and where they shine, because they were just all really good at these Pokemon they play. And so that's why we kind of had to target it more in grand finals against them. So from my memory of the games, I remember both these games were very, very close at the Rayquaza fight. I forget who was winning before the Rayquaza fight. I just remember the Rayquazas were very sus both games. But if I had to guess, I would say that before the Rayquaza fight, this game we should win slightly hard. But that double kill onto Rhinne in the top path is not a good sign. The other games, Rhinne has been playing very extremely well in lane, but unfortunately this game looks like he did finally lose lane pretty hard. So the Zoroark is going to be almost level 7. He's almost level 7 at 830. So that is very not good. Overlord's not even 6 yet, and the Zoroark's gonna hit level 7 pretty soon. So Rhinne is gonna die again, and this early game is not what we like to see. However, bot lane is winning extremely hard. Being kyriaos in the bot lane, you can see he's already a level 6 Inteleon. So Leafeon did head up. So what they did here was they swapped the Leafeon top, and they had the Zoro head bottom, because the Zoro is almost level 8. So even though we were hard winning bot, we did not win bot as hard as they won top side. So this was a really smart rotation by them, where they send the Zoroark down here to hard fuck us in the bot side, because top won so hard, and now they transferred that to bot and hard fuck over the lane that we were winning very hard. So very smart by them. Very good rotations. Again, they were probably the best Hoopa team at World. I think in finals we actually banned Hoopa like every single game, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we banned Lapras on the games we were second pick, but Junior Absent is insane on the Hoopa. He is actually the best Hoopa in the game. There's a lot you can learn from watching him. OMO, like, I've seen a lot of people saying, like, after grand finals, they're like, oh, OMO's kind of like not that good as a team. No, OMO are extremely strong, especially I think it's showcased in this match. This match, when we didn't fuck them in draft, really showed how strong of a team they really are. And in grand finals, we figured out their weakness in draft before the game even gets into the game. And of course, on Pokemon they're not comfortable on that aren't really in their mon pools, they're gonna look a lot weaker. But on these Pokemon they've mastered, you can see how strong they are. They're absolutely fucking us this game so far. 100-point lead. I don't think this has happened in the tournament yet for us. Against any team we face, this has not happened yet, where we were losing an early game this hard. I don't even think we lost early game until we faced OMO. So again, like, do not disrespect OMO. To get to grand finals, they beat like all of the best teams in the world. So no matter how easy grand finals looked for us, there's a lot more that went into it than a lot of people realize. Like, especially drafts. Like, draft is really where we just maneuvered them, because that was probably almost one weakness. When you give them these comfort comps, they look very, very comfortable in the games. So again, the Hooper rotations are stellar. The Zoroark is level 11 at 6 minutes. I don't think I've even seen like Overlord do something like this. A level 11 Zoroark at 6 minutes is insanely high level. He is 2 levels above Overlord. Overlord is usually the one with the level lead. So our goal here, and this has not happened the entire tournament, by the way, is to just get comeback XP. So I'm going to Bliss Unite Rhinne, trying to kill the Zoro. However, the Zoro just dashes out of it. So not a very good Bliss Unite. I misclicked my Shedinja doll. It's funny that the spectator saw that. None of my team realized, so don't tell them. I just didn't say anything, but we do get the top one, which is really good. That's some comeback XP for us to score. We get a good overcap. So now the point lead is not as big as 100 points. We did use all of our unites for it though, so it's gonna be hard because I blew my Bliss Unite. We used Lapras, we used Urshifu Unite, so the only unites left we have are Comfey and Inteleon. Elo's been on point with the Grass Knots, by the way. Grass Knot is so broken but so high skill cap, it's very hard to hit them. So you saw a Grass Knot, we almost managed to kill the Zoro, who's so fed, just off a really good Grass Knot. So that really shows the value of Grass Knot if you can hit it. Now this bottom objective is just fucked. You can see we're not really going for it. Overlord's going to try to score behind, I believe. Yeah, he tries to go for the score behind, but OMO's macro is just really good. Like, they have really good macro. You can see, especially when ahead, they know exactly how to keep ahead. They have their Leafeon going to score bot with 40, and we have no vision of that, so they get a free 40 bot behind us. And now the point lead is 200 points once again. I'm kind of off on my own trying to farm Bliss Unite. I believe I was hard farming Bliss Unite this whole time. I come in because I had Bliss Unite. It literally, I remember I was so sad when I died. I farmed my Bliss Unite up to 95%. I run in, I'm like, all right, I'm about to have Bliss Unite. They're flipping the Dreadnought, like not the Dreadnought, the Reggie. So I run in, I try to get there as fast as possible because I wanted to get down here, right? Because we didn't know exactly where they were. But they turn on us and kill me. I remember when I died, my Bliss Unite was 99%. 99%. I was so sad. And yeah, that's not good. Rhinne is still alive, so he's going to try to stall, but he is against 5 people. They just team wiped us. So again, this is what I mean when I remember these games were very, very hard and we should not have 2-0'd OMO Abyssinian. This was the hardest, probably our hardest match at World, just skill-wise. We were like, in Unite, when you're like in the zone, people can call it luck, whatever they want, but when you're in the zone, you kind of like, you get a lot of stuff that you shouldn't. Like like secures and stuff. Like Rhinne was in the zone this tournament. A lot of like me and like kyriaos, we were all in the zone. So we just got like every objective that was like a 50-50. Like, and you can call it luck, but when it happens on a regular basis, it's like in the zone. It exists for esports athletes, not just you've probably heard it for regular athletes. But you saw I used my Bliss Unite there at 330. Just trying to get value because it is the last time you can Bliss Unite. I do run Energy Amp, and I recommend that on Blissey. I think it's the best item by far. I think any other item on Blissey is troll. But because you run Energy Amp, you can Bliss Unite at 330. I will have to farm a little or die, but it is definitely worth to try to get value, and just apply pressure on the map that normally wouldn't exist. So we are gonna try to we got the top Reggie, and we're gonna try to pressure bot here. However, they're just so good with their hoop rotations that they ripped bot by the time we got down here, and they ripped the top one by the time we got down to bot, and then they all rotated down to bot. They kept their tree top, which is smart. Defenders are really good at holding the pad solo. We cannot kill a tree on top if we try to push top. So you can see the levels are kind of fucked here. Rhinne is not going to hit 13. Overlord's barely going to hit 13. And I believe kyriaos... Is kyriaos not even going to hit 13? Maybe not. And I'm going to have Unite a little late. It's at like 90% right now, I believe. So we're just going to play safe. Wait for my Unite. Honestly, if we wait... So the bees are going to spawn at like 130 in the lanes. So if we wait for that and get some more level 13s before we fight, it's going to be a lot better. The point difference isn't that big. So that is fine. They're going to chunk Rhinne. So I run up. So I ran up to heal Rhinne, and Overlord sees an angle to go in, which is very dangerous because we want to coordinate my Bliss Unite with Overlord. So I remember this whole time I was calming, like, be careful, Overlord, like, I'm not with you, I can't get to you. I kind of wasted Bliss Unite there. That was not a good Bliss Unite. I was trying to use it on Overlord, but I believe I did not turn off my portrait lock, so there is a glitch with that. But honestly, it's not the worst Bliss Unite. It just could have been a little better. I'm gonna Shedinjadal Blastoise Unite, and I believe so how this fight played out is we got them all low HP, and at this point we blew a lot of Unites. We're gonna have to flip the Rayquaza. So Overlord also gets the Zorg very low, but we had the Hoopa coming back to mid, so we knew we had to finish it. It's gonna be a flip, and Rhinne gets it with Paris on. So honestly, that was our best odds. If you look at the EXP before this Ray fight even starts, we're honestly so fucked on EXP. Overlord was level 12 when this fight started. He does trickle level 13 like mid fight, but we were all level 12 for this fight. They have a level 14 Zoric, level 13 on both carries. So we were just playing hyper aggressive with our Unites to kind of chunk them all to low HP. That created space to flip the Rayquaza. So they definitely could have played it better, I think, in stopping us from flipping the Rayquaza. Yeah, I mean, I think I believe we got a really good pick on the Hoopa, which was the deciding factor in us being able to flip. If we did not kill the Hoopa, they all would have been able to heal, but because we killed their support, they all were really low HP. You can see Overlord gets the Zoric low HP, and we're just going to flip the Rayquaza. So we just played hyper aggressive, and they weren't willing to blow their Unites. In my opinion, OMO should have just, like Hoopa when it's getting engaged on, should have blown Unite to live, or someone else should have United, because we blew so many Unites, and they just were unwilling to kind of trade their Unites in exchange. Like, those Unites, even though we got low value, like, we're using them to be able to flip. So they, like, even if they're not going to get the best value Unite, they should have returned fire, because they let us get way too much value in flipping the Rayquaza. So this game's over. We have like a 200-point lead. They don't have time because the fight stalled out so long. So again, we should not have won that game. OMO was hard winning the game the whole time. So you can see Overlord's side there. Like, he knew that game was not good. That game was not good. We're not happy at all about that win. Even though we won, it was kind of by like a miracle. Like, that was a game where OMO had to misplay. It was theirs to win, and they had to misplay. We had to play in a way to let them misplay, to create space, let us flip the Rayquaza. That was their game to win 100%. So that was not a good win for us. And we knew we had to change our strategy moving forward. So I knew Shua was very good at Zoroark. And I remember that I was like, when we did our draft plan, I was like, maybe we should just take Zoroark instead of Urshifu. He doesn't play Urshifu, and he's really good at Zoroark. And if we take Zoroark, it'll counter everything he plays. And that's actually what we did in Grand Finals. But I remember Rhinne was just like, who cares about the analyst stuff? Like, just pick Urshi, it's better. But yeah, definitely should have gone with what I was looking at with the Zoroark. So that's what we did in Grand Finals. I believe here we also realized, hey, we need to take the Zoroark. Shua was way too good at this Pokemon. And so we banned Lapras because we don't want them to get Lapras. They first pick Umbreon, but you might have remembered I covered in my other videos that we actually like the Zoroark into Umbreon matchup. Because Zoroark can mean look, or Zoroark can illusion the mean look. So Zoroark actually kind of counters Umbreon if you know how to play it. They're gonna get their comfort comp here. This is another comfort comp by them. We do take the Hoopa away from Junior Absent. I take the tree away, or I don't take the tree away. I just take it because Tempest is gonna play Umbreon, and they're actually gonna play Espeon. So we did not expect that. In my opinion, them playing Espeon is like a free win. I thought Espeon was one of the biggest baits at Worlds were Leafeon and Espeon. 2 evolutions. These Pokemon did not look good in my opinion. They're just I think there's better picks, honestly, than both of them in the Worlds meta. If you saw my tier list, I made a tier list on Worlds meta. Make sure to check it out. It goes really in depth on the Pokemon picks. So I believe we picked Buzzwole in return because this is such a free Buzzwole game. It'll fuck the Espeon, it'll fuck the Blastoise, and it'll fuck the Leafeon. It only fucks Rapid Spin Blastoise, but from my analyst info, I had never seen Miva play a Surf game. So obviously he can still play Surf, but he's not going to be comfortable on it, which is our goal, right? At Worlds, people are already nervous. Getting them off comfort picks while also like we are on our comfort picks is the goal in draft. Especially because I think we were the most flexible team at Worlds. We could play so many Pokemon at a high level. So that was definitely the goal of our draft. And we did achieve it a little more this game. You can see we're learning from experience. But obviously, next time we face them is where we really learn and we fuck them and draft every single game in Grand Finals. I can't wait to cover that for you guys. But yeah. So Rhinne unfortunately did not get his score off, which is going to be kind of bad for the Buzzwole lane, but it's not the worst because he didn't die. Junior Absent with an insane steal on that mid one. So they're going to be winning the top path. Our Zoro is going to come down early here to the bot path, and we're just going to score on their pad. Inteleon is such a free gank for like a Speedster or Urshi, because you can just get your scores in early. And the Leafeon comes down here. The Zoro is going to kill him. So really good start for us. Elo decides to rotate down to help. I don't really like that rotate that much. You can see it really didn't do much, but we're hard winning bots, so at the end of the day it doesn't really matter. We're gonna send Overlord back up, and unfortunately the Blastoise did have dash up, so we're not gonna get much out of it. Overlord with an insane illusion. Did you see that illusion, guys? So Leafeon comes in with a Solar Blade, and Overlord actually illusioned it. You didn't really see it when I paused it, but that was insane reaction timing from him. Very, very good. That is what I think separates Overlord from these other Zoroarks. Like Shua and like other Zoroarks, maybe they can combo just as fast as Overlord, if not a little faster. Because I mean Overlord Zoroark in regionals, in my opinion, was the best Zoroark in the world, but he did not practice Zoroark as much because he was practicing other picks to make sure we were more flexible. So his Zoroark at Worlds was a little rusty. So these other Zoroarks, they maybe can combo a little like faster than him at his current rustiness on Zoro, but his illusions, no one can match them. He has the best illusions in the game. He is so good at reacting with them. Like we all did a reaction speed test on the team, right? And like we all got like pretty average, like good gamer numbers. But Overlord had the highest possible human reaction speed on the test, which is insane. That is so rare. So he just has raw talent. That is just raw talent at work. So Bottom B's, there were 4 people down here, and we did not know that the Leafeon was hiding in the bush the whole time. So I dashed into B's, which is not very smart. I should have saved my dash when we don't have vision. But it is not the worst because we have 2 people covering, and I will come back in time for the objective. But definitely could have, I mean, I probably would have died there even if I saved my dash, but could have lived a little longer. So they're going to just try to rip this because they know Overlord's coming down level 9. They're going to Leafeon, Unite, kyriaos, pretty basic stuff. Overlord's going to, he knows he can't steal, so he's just preserving his health bar in case they int. So you can see here, insanely fast combo, insta-killing the Leafeon, really good target priority by Overlord, and he's just going to kill the Espeon, and this is the Overlord show. He might go down. Okay, he messed up the illusion on the Pollen Puff, but he does live. And we're going to Hoop reset him up. And yeah, just insanely well played by Overlord. He hard carried that. We're going to have a huge over. Did we have? No, I remember Elo trolled this actually. So Elo trolled the math, but it's all good. I think I trolled the math one series. So we do have a running joke in NA Pro scene where like NA math is the worst out of all regions. But honestly, we didn't choke the math that bad in a lot of the series. So they do kill Overlord, which is unfortunate. The Overlord dying does give a lot of XP, but it does apply a lot of pressure, which we're going to be able to use to pick up a kill 1v2 on the Blastoise top side. And now they're going to rotate like 4 top. I believe they're going to keep their defender bot. We're going to do the same thing where I stay bot against Tempest, and I'm just farming bees now for free. Once I farm bees, I decide, hey, we should just 5-man. I'll let Tempest score bot if he wants. Oh, actually, we sent Buzzwole down. It's because I have Unite, Buzzwole doesn't. So Buzzwole can just go pressure scores, but Tempest is just waiting here. And kyriaos does get an insane steal on the Reggie, but he does die for it. I believe they used Blastoise Unite. I exchanged my Tree Unite, and we are going to look to push this with Hoop Unite. We're going to send Buzzwole up, and kyriaos is going to be able to come back invincible. Something really broken about Hoopa. And we're just going to 5-man this with all our Unites. Overlord does die, but it should still be pushable, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it does go in. We did get really low, so... Oh yeah, that is where I trolled the math, by the way. So, Elo trolled the math once, I trolled the math once, which is bad, by the way. That is really bad. So, if Elo didn't troll bot side, we would have had 15 more points from that, because he scored a 14 instead of our 30. If I didn't troll there, we also would have had 15 more points, which would have equated to a 200-point lead. Instead, it's like a 130 or 160 point lead, which is not like good. Like 200-point lead would have been way better, especially with like when it comes to overcounts, it's important to not mess those up. So a little bit of nerves. Again, these games were our hardest matches. Is not good. Overlord does go down again, so he's not having fun this game. Zork is a lot harder without a pocket. You're gonna die a lot, which is why Shua's insane performance on Zork the first game was so good. Blastoise is gonna have a huge Unite move to stop the portal, and this was just Elo placing the portal way too far up. Like again, like Blastoise, it's pretty obviously a Blastoise Unite, so Elo needed to place this like in our speed flux. I remember kyriaos making a small comment complaining about that the portal was way too far up. But it happened, unfortunate, and that is gonna have them. Honestly, the bot break is not that bad after they get the objective and kill Overlord. That's already really bad for us in snowballing the game. So them breaking bot and us getting on dinos is not the worst, because that's actually better than them holding onto the pad. I honestly think in those situations, not breaking the pad is low-key better, because we would have been so fucked on experience and they would have had a lot of experience back. So it's just Unite timer. So you see a lot of like low value Unites being blown out of nowhere, just trying to get value. You know, again, this is what I talked about last game. They might look low value, but when it's a timer, like when you should use them, a lot of time you should just use your Unite. You shouldn't worry about hitting like the 5-man Unite. So like it's 330, right? So I can Tree Unite, and if I Tree Unite, I don't have to farm at all, and I will get my Unite back. So there's literally no point to not Tree Uniting, because you just want to have your Unite on spawn at 2 minutes. You're probably, in this game state, you're not going to Unite at like 220, because that would be troll. So Just using your Unite for free, like it's the strongest move in the game. Why wouldn't you use Unite? So Tempest doing a really good job covering these pads, really good awareness. Again, they had really good awareness. We do still have over 100 point lead, so that's good. I'm going to die for trying to get the score, but ultimately we get Bs for free. So it's actually really good. I distracted their whole team for like 20 seconds. We're going to get bot and top Bs for free. So in my opinion, that was a little troll by them. They should just have one person stopping the cap. Killing me does nothing, and we got all the sets of Bs on the map, which is a lot of experience for us. And they rotated 5 people to kill Tree. That is really not worth. That is a little troll by them. But yeah, you're gonna see these are really low EXP games for us. So because we broke both their pads so early on, and we trolled, we lost the second Reggie. That really bites us in the butt because we had both our pads up, so we weren't getting Audinos. We did get like 2 rotations of this once they broke, but you can see we only have 1 level 13. So again, this game was very sus. They have a level 14 Espeon, so they were doing really, really well in the experience department, which is not good for us. But we do have the point lead, and that's what we're gonna play around. You can see we're just preserving the point lead. Overlord was hovering near until we saw more people mid. Now that he saw more people mid, he's kind of rotating more forward, and we're just covering our caps because we know we have the point lead. They have to do the Rayquaza. So because they have to do the Rayquaza, this is how you convert a point lead into an advantage at the Ray fight. You force them, like we're just playing passive. They're forced to run into the Rayquaza pit. When they do that, their position is going to be very bad, and we're going to get a really good engage on them. I believe like at some point they're just like, we do need to get the Rayquaza, like time's getting low, and they run in, and I just get a huge tree. Yeah, I get a 3-man tree engage here, and at that point we just won the fight. And you can see our levels are fucked, but I've actually been doing really good this game. I'm level 12, so I'm higher level than their defender. I've been doing really good this game as opposed to the rest of the team. Level 12 at Rayquaza fights very good for a defender. So yeah, they feel like they're forced to flip, and that is when I just fuck them on the engage. Overlord gets on the backline on the Leafeon, and yeah, they were just fucked. We just played passive, let them have to walk in, which they have to walk in because we have the point lead. We have Hoopa, so I didn't really explain the Hoopa part. So we can cover the caps, right? And then we can just Hoopa Unite and 5-man go mid if they try to flip. So that's why the position of covering the caps is actually very good. And when Overlord is kind of where he was kind of like in our jungle, you might think, oh, he's not covering the cap, but he really is because Zorik can dash really far, right? So if they try to cap, he was covering from that spot. So knowing like what your characters can do or not is very good. We played around the strengths of Hoopa here, and now there's just one left. We're just gonna finish the Rayquaza. There's nothing they can do. The Blastoise can't even get in. So that game, actually I was wrong. I remembered wrong. So that game, just the whole game was a little sus for us, but the Rayquaza fight was actually executed perfectly. The Rayquaza fight wasn't even close. So if I were them, what I would have done is I would have just honestly like hard like 3-man force the top pad, and if you catch the Buzzwole out and he dies, that's their way in, because once one person dies, our whole strategy at the Rayquaza falls apart. So obviously it's hard to know what to do, but in hindsight they should just 3-man force top with maybe like the Espeon, Leafeon, and like Eldegoss or something. They can keep their Umbreon, Blastoise mid to kind of zone us from ripping the Rayquaza. That's what I would have done if I were them personally. Again, but Hoopa late game, when the Hoopa team has a point lead late game, it's very hard. You can just see it. This they felt like they were forced to run in because honestly they wasted way too much time here. It got to like 120, and we're covering caps, right? We have over a 100 point lead, so even if they score once, it's not gonna matter. We're still gonna win. So they really need the Rayquaza in this spot, because it shows for them, they don't know the exact points. So obviously if they knew it was only a 5-point difference, it would be a lot less sus for them at like a 105 point. But for them, it just shows that we're in a huge lead. So they know they need the Rayquaza. And so they wasted way too much time here doing nothing. Again, at this point, I think they should have, like at 2 minutes, their game plan should just be to force top with like 3 people, even 4 people, and just take their odds. Like take their odds if we decide to flip it. They should just take their odds. They do have better secure than us. They have Solar Blade and Espeon, so that's how I think they should have played it. But again, they just kind of didn't do much here. Like, they tried to poke us out in mid, but we have Hoopa resets. They were just trying to poke me out in particular, which is kind of troll. And it gets to like 120. They're like, oh shit, we're running out of time. Like, we have to flip the Rayquaza. And that's just when like they get hard fucked. Just like you can see here, it's not just my 3-man engage. It's the fact that I engaged on these people. The Blastoise is trying to engage here, and their Leafeon's alone, which allows Overlord to get a free engage on him because I'm stunning the rest of the team. So Leafeon is gonna lose the 1v1 to Zoro if it's alone. I just stunned them the whole time, so the LD tries to unite, but it's too late because of my stun on the engage. So this engage wouldn't have been as good if Overlord wasn't in position ready to capitalize on it, but it was really this Leafeon kill that sealed the deal for us winning, especially because the Eldegoss tried to save him, and that was a big mistake. The Eldegoss should just know. So it's about cutting your losses, right? As soon as I hit this fat engage, they should know, hey, like, their Leafeon's fucked. We just gotta back up. Maybe kite up to like the top of the pit here, through the mid left choke, without blowing any unites. Try to fight like a refight after like repositioning, like regaining your composure. Like, trying to fight this, trying to blow your knights when I get such a good engage is so bad. You can see here, the Blastoise tries to unite to finish me off, and I take the Hoopa portal out. So he doesn't even get that good of value out of his Blast Unite. So they just got absolutely fucked in this fight. We had to learn this the hard way too, because from what I see, OMO is like used to winning fights, right? Just off like mechanics, especially in this tournament. And we were used to that too. But at the end of the day, when you're facing a really good team, like, you have to hold the L in some of the fights and just like kite out and take a refight that is more well favored for you. Like, they might think, oh, like, our levels are so good, like, we've been playing so well mechanically, like, even though this fight started so bad, we can still win. No, like, you have to be the one to start the fight well. So they just had to kite out and try to get a refight. If they did that, they honestly would have had decent odds on the game. We would have just killed the Leafeon and that was it, and there would still be 4 alive. And honestly, they would still have good odds, in my opinion. But yeah, honestly, like, that's just hindsight stuff. I still think they're a really good team. They obviously played really well, and it's fun analyzing these games. But like, obviously on stage, it's gonna be hard for them to know that. That's something we only knew from trial and error after losing. It's actually really hard to know when you're winning every game just off pure mechanics, right? It's only once like you lose a lot that you realize these small things, and we did lose a lot this year. So this was funny. You can see Rhinne did 23k damage. So honestly, Buzzle's not for him. There's a lot of Pokemon he's a lot better at. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one versus Japan.